Okay, we're recording. We're getting started. Let's give it it's just a minute or so before noon, so let's just give it another minute to roll tape here. All right. Do me one quick favor, if you would be so kind as to just put in the chat that you can, in fact, actually hear me and see my screen. Just give me a Y in the chat that you can hear me and see my screen. And that would be a big help. Or maybe you can't type in the chat. I don't know. I haven't used this system in a little bit, so it's possible. Okay, thanks, Eden. Denise, thank you. Lynn, thank you. Appreciate it. All righty. Here goes nothing, as they like to say. It is the top of the hour. I'm going to close the chat. I'm going to open the presentation and share with you what I shared at PodFest last week. PodFest is a big event. It was their 11th annual event. It's in Orlando. There's like 2,000 people there and a gazillion speakers, and I was one of them. And what I shared was AI powered video podcasting and editing. I'm going to be totally transparent here and tell you that this is sponsored by, in other words, there'll be a little offer at the end, by Fast Track Video. Oops, I lost my screen here. Hold on a second. I'm going to do that, do that, do that. So Fast Track used to be Fast Forward. Anyway, it's my insiders club where you get a lot of access to me and every single course I do and all kinds of cool video trainings, plus quarterly one-on-one coaching sessions and a done for you video. I'll tell you more about that later, but first let's get into the presentation, which the long title is Maximize Your Content Creation and Streamline Your Editing Workflow. The one big thing that came out of PodFest, well, a lot of things besides AI is everywhere now, is that a lot of folks spend a ton of time on their podcasts or videos. So the purpose of this session and training is to help you save time and save your sanity when it comes to creating either podcasts or videos or both. So I'm going to share 5 cool tools with you, and we're going to look at some real world use cases and benefits. But first, we're going to talk a little bit how AI is really reshaping podcasting. I currently have, or I had 2 podcasts. The first one I did a year or so ago was called Take the Cannoli, the Godfather podcast. And the one that just launched last week is called Oh Shit, I'm Dead, the Legacy podcast, which is kind of a fun look at talking about legacy and what people will say about you when you're gone. I mention these because I'm going to reference them several times throughout the presentation. So those are my 2 podcasts at the moment, available wherever you get your podcast. They are video podcasts. We're going to talk a lot about that. Also, we know AI is not going anywhere. In fact, folks will be using AI tools for video production a lot more in the coming year, almost 82%. So Harry says no sound. Everybody else says they can hear me. So are we okay on sound here? Can you just give me a quick Y in the chat? Hang on, Harry. We're working on it. I know there's a little delay, but just give me a quick Y in the chat that you can hear me. Of course, if you can't hear me, you can't know what I'm saying. So check, check, check. I had a few issues like that last time, but I don't see anything else in the chat, so I'm going to assume it's okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, back to the prez. Thanks, thanks, thanks. All right. Let's get rid of that. Let's do this. So again, this, it's not just a wave, it's a tsunami. So you can either ride the wave or get washed away by it. So we know also that businesses are using AI for content creation, SEO, image generation, and over 50% are using it for videos and podcasts. So when asked what are the biggest benefits, the number one benefit by almost 70% was it saves me time and allows me to create content faster. So that's really what we're going to talk about. Um, Saving you time and being able to create your content quicker and easier than ever. Now, I'm a huge proponent of video podcasts for obvious reasons, but I think when you do a podcast or audio podcast, you can turn it into a video podcast and achieve a lot more visibility. And more content means more visibility. I should say more good content because there's so much stuff out there. So producing more and better podcast videos gives you a distinct competitive advantage. As my longtime friend and colleague, Denise Wakeman says, it gives you the I see you everywhere effect. So repurposing is also a lot easier now than it used to be. So the good news is if you have a podcast or a video, it's pretty easy to reformat it to square or portrait so that you can share it in other platforms. Another interesting thing that came out of podcast last week, or really confirmed it, is that the number of creators posting video content each month has increased by 70% over the last year. So folks want video podcasts. They want the option to either watch and or listen. So the good news again is you can take your existing content, whether it's text or audio, and turn that into video podcasts. You can take your audio podcasts and turn them into video podcasts. You can repurpose and resize your podcasts so that you can use them on LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok, assuming that's around in a couple months, which I think. So let's take a look at some of this nitty-gritty stuff here. What percentage of listeners prefer video podcasts? 32% of people now prefer video podcasts, and that number is even higher when you look at the youngsters, millennials and Gen Z. So I really hope that you will consider turning your audio podcast into a video or starting an audio/video podcast. The other reason that it's so important to have a video element to your podcast is that YouTube is now #1 for podcast discovery by a pretty wide margin, which I think is amazing. More people find podcasts on YouTube than they do on Spotify or Apple. So what does that mean to you? Well, let's look at some tools that will help you create your podcasts and videos more quickly. Now, in Orlando, I had to do this in 22 minutes. I might have a little bit more time here, but we're still going to go through these tools pretty quickly. So you can, I'll give you the slides for this at the end, or you can take notes or write them down and try these anytime you want. The first tool we're going to look at is Suno.com. And Suno.com is really a lot of fun because it allows us to create custom songs with simple prompts. You can do any kind of song in any kind of style or any kind of genre using Suno.com. And they have a really generous free version. I think you can make either 5 or 10 songs a day in the free version. Let's be conservative and say it's 5. So you can see I've done a whole bunch of songs about Rocco and Regina the Pug. There's all kinds of trending playlists here. You can keep it private or you can make it public. But all you have to do is put in a prompt and Suno.com will create the lyrics and the song itself. So I'm going to show you a couple quick examples of this. And this is a simple prompt. You can do your own lyrics if you want, but I just let Suno do it. So let's see what we got here. This is the one that I said, please create a 90s style song in grunge style that talks about PodFest 2025. So I'll give this a quick listen. Orlando Heat, we're feeling fine. PodFest 2025. Lou Bortone's got that shine. AI vids, they come alive. So that's pretty cool, right? I mean, you can make your own song. You can make a theme song for your podcast or songs for your videos. And as you can see here, it gives you the entire lyrics as well. So another example I tried, and I let Suno do the lyrics, was I said, do a song for my new podcast called Oh Shit, I'm Dead. I want it to be a pop song, sort of in the style of Taylor Swift. So I'll play that one for you, and hopefully you can hear everything okay here.
Walking down memory lane, wondering what they'll say. Oh, Lou Bortone's podcast got me thinking every day. Will they talk about my heart, or the times I lost control? Oh shit, I'm dead at the start of the legacy I hold.
I'm not going to play the whole thing for you. So that's suno.com. Check it out when you have a chance. It's really fun. You can make your own songs. You can choose the style and the genre. It gives you 2 options for each one. So you can say, make a rap song about such and such. You can give it hints or clues or your own lyrics if you want. And suno.com takes it from there. Another tool that I like that is also has a great free version and a very affordable paid version is Hedra.com. So Hedra.com allows you to create not just music, but videos and music from a single prompt. And if you saw the little bobblehead guy, which I'll show you in a moment, that I created to promote this event, you'll see that I used Hedra.com for that. So here's a couple of things you can do with Hedra. Again, it's all done with simple prompts, and there's no learning, virtually no learning curve. So this is one that we did in Hedra.com.
Hey, it's Bobblehead Lou here with an important announcement. Join us this Thursday at noon Eastern for a special free training on AI video and podcasting tools. Get ready to have your mind blown. Sign up at the link below.
So I just gave Hedra.com my picture, and I said, make a bobblehead version. In that case, obviously, I gave it exactly what to say, but you don't have to give it exactly what to say if you don't want. Here's another one from Hedra.com. I did an intro for my podcast, and I wanted to have sort of a, I don't know, godlike figure or something, and this is what we got. So I gave it what to say and told it what to create, and this is what we came up with.
Welcome to Oh Shit, I'm Dead, the Legacy Podcast. The show where we ask the big question, what will they say about you when you're gone? Each week, we sit down with icons, trailblazers, and legends in the making to dive into their stories, scandals, and the legacies they're leaving behind. And now, here's your host, the video godfather himself, Lou Bortone.
So that was created with Hedra.com, really simply. Obviously, I gave it what to say. In this case, I cheated a little bit because I brought it into Descript to add the background music. But otherwise, it's all Hedra.com for free. And do we have another one? I think we do. No, not for Hedra, but we're going to look now at NotebookLM, one of my favorite tools. So useful, so fun. Again, with NotebookLM, it's free. It is from Google, and they call it a research assistant. Other people call it the best software ever created for leveraging AI in your creative work. And I don't disagree with that. It's really cool and really simple to use. What you do is you input your own sources, whether those are text or audio or Google Slides. You can put in website URLs, you can put in video URLs, PDFs, and what you get back is a summary, a frequently asked questions, table of contents, briefing doc, a whole bunch of different prompts, and best of all, the infamous audio overview, which is an AI podcast. I'll play you a couple samples in a moment. So you can see here, I've got a whole bunch of files, or what they call notebooks, for different projects. And all you have to do is go to NotebookLM and upload your sources. Again, they can be Google Docs, they can be Google Slides. You can upload links for websites or YouTube videos. You can copy and paste text, and you can have up to 50 sources in each notebook. I like to use fewer because I don't want to confuse it. I just want to give it the information that I need. This can be really, really useful in terms of just helping you hone your message, or maybe you put in a YouTube video to get a summary of that. But the best part is really the audio, deep dive audio that you get. So you can see that in the upper right-hand conversation. They call it the audio overview. So in this case, I just put a little bit of information about my digital agency that's coming this year called Glimmer. and it gives you an overview. And then again, it gives you a study guide, a briefing doc. And when you get the audio overview, which is a very realistic AI podcast, you can take that audio. In this case, it gave me a 16-minute interview, basically about something that doesn't even exist yet, just based on the text that I put in. What I like to do is, and also another cool thing with that audio is now you can actually interact with it. And this is crazy. If you got to just try it, I don't want to show you here because I might mess up the presentation. But when your audio interview is playing, you can actually interrupt them and join the conversation. This is a pretty new feature, and it's really cool because the hosts of the audio podcast, the AI host, will respond to you and answer you in real time. So this makes it a lot more interactive, obviously, and it's really, really funny just to think that, like, oh my God, I'm just talking to an AI person and they're giving me a really cool, smart, articulate response. So you can be part of the conversation. What I like to do is take things that I've already done, like a Substack article, or in this case, it's a Medium article. So I take that and I bring that article into NotebookLM. It gives me the whole summary and stuff like that. And it gave me a 10-minute audio overview, the interview with the two hosts. What I like to do is download that audio and then bring it into Descript.com, which I'll talk about in a moment. And then I add a visual to it. So I give it a thumbnail like this that I create on Canva. I'll usually add a sound wave just to make it a little bit more visually interesting. And once I crank that out, I've got an audio interview that I can use as a video. So let me play you a quick sample of one of the things I created with NotebookLM and Descript.
Okay, so have you ever noticed how sometimes you're just glued to a show and like bam, out nowhere it hits you?
Mm-hmm.
There's some seriously insightful stuff hiding beneath the surface.
Yeah, like what?
Like, who would thought we'd be taking business advice from a mob boss and a media tycoon?
Right.
Exactly. That's why I'm totally pumped for this deep dive. We're diving into The Godfather and Succession to uncover some really timeless business wisdom. And our guide for this is Lou Bortone.
So there's the sample of that. Really simple screenshot, basically, thumbnail with an audio wave. And the audio interview is from NotebookLM. So you can see that it, really sounds pretty realistic. I think Amy asked, can the hosts interview you? There's probably a workaround for that, but not easily. I mean, really, you can interact with the host, but you can't tell the hosts, you can't have a live actual interview. But that's a very good question and a good feature to ask them for. So again, another thing you can do with that audio that you get from NotebookLM is create an audiogram, which you can bring that audio into Descript. Very simple to do. Find an audiogram template. They have several. And then just let Descript do the rest here. The audiogram will basically show you the words, and you can add logos and things like that. So this is an example of that, I believe.
Ever feel like your marketing is just kind of, out there in the ether?
Totally, like shouting into a void.
Exactly. But today, we're diving into how to ditch that salesy vibe and actually build real connections with your audience. And the secret sauce.
It's video, but not just any video.
Right. We're going deep with the video godfather himself, Lou Bortone.
Oh, I like him. He's got such a knack for making the tech side of video approachable.
He really does. And his insights are crazy relevant right now because he's noticed this big shift in how we're all consuming content these days.
Yeah, it's all...
So I didn't tell them to say nice things about me. That just came right from NotebookLM, right from the info I put in there. And I created an audiogram in Descript to turn that audio interview into a video. And again, we used Descript, so I'll show you a few things about that in case you haven't seen it, which I talk about Descript quite a bit. Descript is really amazing. I've been editing video for 25 years, mostly using Final Cut Pro. But in the last couple of years, I've moved almost everything over to Descript because it's so much easier. You can turn podcasts into videos and clips. You can resize and repurpose your videos and podcasts. And ultimately, you can exponentially increase your content output because you can do your videos and podcasts so much more quickly. So there's a few things. I won't go too deep into this. I have an entire class on it. This is the old way I used to edit in Final Cut Pro. So you can see they've got timelines and layers, and it's somewhat complicated. There's a pretty steep learning curve. Now with Descript, whatever you edit is here in the transcript. So if you can edit a Word document, you can edit a video. So it's really kind of a sea change in terms of the way we edit. And with Descript, it's really affordable and relatively simple to do that. So you can create podcasts and turn those into videos by adding a wave thumbnail with a waveform, like I do with my colleague Jen's podcast. You can do a Zoom interview and bring that into Descript. You can add audio and B-roll. So Descript has all kinds of cool images and videos that you can use, or you can even create audiograms, as I just showed you a moment ago. So the cool thing is it's pretty easy to turn an audio podcast into a video. So I edit a podcast called Conversations with Women in Sales. I take Lori's audio and I bring it into Descript, and then I resize it. Well, actually, I do several versions, but in this case, I resize it as a portrait size so that I can use it on YouTube Shorts and Instagram. And I add the captions here. So it's simple to do that. It's one click to add the captions. And by the way, adding subtitles and captions to your videos can lead to an 80% increase in views, especially on LinkedIn. So just repurpose the heck out of this stuff. Descript's AI suite of tools is called Underlord, and it helps you look better, sound better, repurpose better. So some of the things you can do here is, they have for sound good, you can remove filler words, you can shorten the word gaps. You can see here under repurpose, you can create clips, create a highlight reel, find highlights. So it's a very powerful all-in-one tool that replaces a lot of other tools. I don't use rev.com for transcripts anymore. I don't use Opus Clip anymore because Descript really does it all. One of the first things I do with every video I put into Descript or audio is add studio sound, because that takes out all the background noise and makes the sound a lot richer. And that's really just one toggle here, one click. Same with green screen. This is my actual background behind me, but if I do the one-click green screen, I can knock out that background and replace it with something else. In this case, I just put a Vegas scene behind me. And all of that video and imagery and B-roll is included in Descript. So if I just do a search for Vegas, I come up with a whole bunch of possibilities for that. So the green screen is incredibly easy. You don't even have to have an actual green screen. And that's a one toggle kind of thing. They've got an eye contact function that can be a little creepy, but it's pretty cool because it does move your eyes back up towards the screen. You can change your background. As you can see here, there's animated background. So I used the green screen function and then just added a different background from Descript. So that makes it very simple to do that. And once you're done with your video, you can repurpose it and create clips like you would normally do in Opus Clip. So you just tell Descript how many clips do you want and how long do you want them to be, and Descript will create those clips. So please create 10 clips from appropriate sound bites. And then you've got a whole bunch of new videos from the main video. Once you're done with that, and if you're going to put it on YouTube, you can get YouTube descriptions and show notes. If you're doing a podcast, it'll give you titles, it'll give you social posts, it'll even draft a blog post for you based on the video that you have in here. So I put all of my videos on YouTube. So I go in here and click the YouTube description, and it gives me a detailed description along with chapter markers, which YouTube loves. So I really just copy this and paste it into YouTube, and I'm ready to go. It gives me a title, description, the whole deal. So very powerful. When we talk about legacy, what does that word even mean to you?
Several things come to mind, which is one, what are people going to say about you when you're gone? Or is anybody going to care? Give a fuck that you're gone.
Right.
But also it means thoughtfulness. It means a mindset for how you're moving through the world at this stage of life. And
So I wanted to show you that. That's another example of a podcast that I put into Descript and created a shorter version that's vertical, so I could use it on Instagram, etc. Descript also includes Squadcast. If you want to record your podcasts or videos directly into Descript, you can do that. It is better than Zoom. And they're basically sunsetting the Squadcast part of it, and they're going to move over to something called Descript Rooms. But it's essentially the same thing. You can record multiple people if you're doing a panel, and you have more control over your guest's video, which you wouldn't necessarily have inside of Zoom. So obviously, I'm a big Descript fan. Another tool I want to talk to you about is Pictori.ai. When I don't use Descript, I use Pictori, and I use it to create videos almost from scratch. I can bring in a client's audio only, and then have Pictori add the imagery and the video and the captions. I can bring in videos and edit them. There are all kinds of things you can do with Pictori. It says script to video, blog to video, edit videos with AI, visuals to video, or PowerPoint to video. So you bring in whatever source you want, and then Pictori adds, or the AI in Pictori adds the images and captions. You can also add voiceovers. They use 11 Labs as their AI voices, which are really good. You can bring in your own voice. You can bring in all kinds of stuff, music, etc. So that is Pictori.ai. And what I do is I repurpose audio podcasts and bring those in here, and then add the B-roll so that I can have a whole new video from just the audio podcast. I'll come back to the questions in a moment. You can see here in Pictori, all the scenes are down here. So if you don't like the image that it shows for you, you can change it. They've got this voiceover function, all of these AI voices, which sound really great because they're using voices from 11 Labs. You can add background music. You can upload your own music or voice. So it's a very powerful tool, pretty intuitive and easy to use. And I'm going to play you an example or two before we wrap this up and show you what Pictori can do. So again, you can choose whatever voice you want. You can change it out, male, female, accent, no accent. And here's the video sample that I used. Now, in this case, I recorded, if you're easily offended, mute your thing because I think there's curse words in here. But anyway, I didn't record anything. I just wrote a short meditation right before the election. And I added a voice, like a soft voice and background music, and Pictori added the images. And this is what we came up with. I think I will let this whole one play, so hopefully you can hear it okay.
Welcome to the Fuck the Election meditation. All right, sit your ass down or lie the hell down, whatever makes you feel less crappy. Whatever you do, do not turn on the news. It's not good. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life right now. First, take a deep breath in. Now blow it out your ass. As you breathe slowly, try not to think about the fact that the country is going to shit and all hell is about to break loose. Breathe in calm, breathe out. Bullshit. There's nothing you can do about it. You are powerless. Feel that anxiety and that sinking feeling of impending doom? That's the fact that this election will be decided by a few thousand people in Pennsylvania. What the fuck is the Electoral College anyway? What the hell happened to one person, one vote? Well, it's too late for that shit now. Just stick your head under your pillow and scream. Nice. Doesn't that feel better? Now close your eyes and pretend Barack Obama is president again. Ah, finally, open your eyes and Google which countries with nice climates offer political asylum.
So I know it's goofy, it's political, it's sarcastic, but I really just wanted to show you that with a simple script, Pictori does the rest. I picked a nice soft voice. I picked the background music. Pictori picked most of the images. I had to switch out a few. And it's really the closest way you can make a video almost from scratch that I know of. So when I'm not using Descript, I'm using Pictori.ai. I think I have a few other things here to show you. Well, the main thing here is to really, repurpose your content. And now that you've got these tools, many of which are free, you can take a video and put it on your website or sales page. You can create a vertical version like I did for TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. You can create a square version with captions for LinkedIn and Facebook. You can repurpose it as an audiogram, as you saw in the previous example. And you can make a ton of promo clips. So you can take that one piece of content, that one video, one blog post, one Substack article, and really repurpose the heck out of it in terms of making additional videos from your one piece of content. So if you have a podcast and you need help editing or getting it started, you can scan this. I'll send you the slides, so don't rush and don't worry about whipping out your phone and taking a picture really quickly. If you want the slides, do I have that one? Oh, I'll take questions in a moment, but if you want the full slide deck, you can scan this QR code. I did this because I was speaking in Orlando, and we had a bunch of folks there, and obviously I can't take everybody's email necessarily, but I can have them scan this, and that way they can get the slides for the deck. In addition, as long as you registered, I will also make this replay available to you. But before we wrap up, I did want to remind you that the enrollment for Fast Track Video is open, which I only do a couple times a year in January or June. And this is really basically everything Lou, I guess. Did I spell this right? Yes. LouBortone.com/insider. And you get access to me, every single course that I do over the course of the year, 4 one-on-one coaching and strategy sessions, and a customized done-for-you video. So this is the best way to not miss anything and to get plenty of support. We do monthly Q&A coaching calls. We've got a ton of tutorials in the members area. We do again, one-on-one personal quarterly coaching with me, which by itself would be more than the price of this entire program, because I charge $300 an hour. So that would be what, $1,200 for 4 sessions. And a custom done for you video that I create for you, as well as year-round course access. So this is my, again, probably the best way and the most affordable way to get everything you may need. I'm moving the membership area from Heartbeat to membership.io to make it easy to find all the tutorials and replays and podcasts and stuff like that. The page looks like this. This is an AI generated image, by the way. So you can go there to loubortone.com/insider and get all this good stuff. Monthly trainings, all my courses, 4 one-on-one sessions, which we typically do every quarter, and a customized done-for-you video. So I hope you'll check that out if you have a moment. It's really very a great way to get everything and anything and everything that I do, my courses, my programs, and I added it up, and I didn't like BS the figures. This is like actual numbers. So $5,170 worth of goodies and access for $997 or 4 payments of $249. If you're interested, go to loubortone.com/insider. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I'm going to go over to the chat now and see if there are any questions. I'm going to go back to the slide, though, just so you have the link should you need it. Let me check out the chat. All righty. Thanks, Leslie and Terry. Yeah, it is a little bit of a sarcastic take on things, but that's all right. I don't think that that video is on YouTube yet, but maybe I can put it up there. Robin asked, what level of Descript is best? It really depends how much you use it. There's not much you can do with the free version. Thanks, Chris. But I use the one that is, what is it, $24 a month, I think, and it is the best investment and best money I spend all year. I would pay, oh, don't tell Descript this, I would pay twice as much for it. So you can start with the lower version of Descript that I think is $12 a month, and then if you find you need more firepower, you can up it to the other version. I use the Pro version just because I use it constantly every day, and I need, I don't want to get slowed down. So yeah, check that out, Descript.com. Vicky says she's still getting emails from the old membership area. I'm going to try to figure that out and see why. One of the reasons I'm moving the fast track video from Heartbeat membership to membership.io is membership.io is way better and easier, and Heartbeat again has a mind of its own and is just basically sending out random emails saying I'm doing such and such on Wednesday. I'm like, well, that's news to me. So bear with me, Vicky, while we figure that out, and we'll go from there. Thanks, Amy. Any other questions? And you can put in the chat if you like. Let's see. Yes, there'll be a replay, Santu. And I don't see any other questions here, but if there's anything else, let me know. Otherwise, we'll wrap up. And we have our first fast track video member call session next Thursday at noon. We do that once a month. And I'm doing one-on-one strategy sessions. So as soon as you sign up for the fast track video program, which used to be Fast Forward, thanks, Terry, you can go right ahead and schedule your one-on-one with me if you want. Thank you, Eden. Thanks, Chris. I really appreciate you guys being here. I'll get the recording going. Hey, we did this in 36 minutes, so that's not too bad. Can you work in another language? Yes, Lynn. You can now, I think, put stuff into Descript and have it crank it out to a different language if you prefer. Has this software replaced Zoom? Robin, that's a great question. Not completely, but one of the reasons I want to do this, I'll show you here. Thanks, Chris. Terry, I'll get you some affiliate info. One of the reasons I wanted to do this was I can put up things like this. So I can put up these things like the slides. It's really easy to play everything instead of jumping back and forth on Zoom. And I can do these banners and things like that. So that's kind of cool. I can put in my calendar link. So all this stuff is part of this Meetn, METN, the software that I use for webinars and presentations. I still use Zoom a lot, obviously, because other people do too, but it's kind of neat that I can put these things on here, and this will go directly to that fast track page. So it's, if I'm doing an offer or an upsell, I can put it right on screen just like that. So let me go back to, Lynn says she's using Portuguese and it doesn't translate back from English. Let me look around. I'm pretty sure there's a way to do that. It might even be in NotebookLM. To be able to go back and forth between the languages. So I hope that helps. Thanks, Robin, for the little demo. I'll be doing a Descript class again soon, brand new, all new. And I'll also add AI tools to that sort of as a bonus. So Descript will be the main training, but I'll also train on NotebookLM and Pictory and things like that. So, and obviously if you're part of Fast Track, you get all that stuff automatically. So you're automatically enrolled in whatever courses and classes I do throughout the year. All righty. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, you can email me at vip@loubortone.com. And I hope to see you all again soon. I appreciate your time. I'll send out the replay. And thanks again for being here. Let me